403.84. The longest standing and last remaining individual world record in the men's 400 IM for none other than the GOAT of GOATs, Michael Phelps. That record might be enjoying its last days as a world record in the sport of swimming. This world record felt like an immovable force for a long time. It felt like it was a world record that, even talking about it was just a fairy tale. And it really felt like for a long time after Phelps retired, the only other person that could take that world record out was the guy that would have been the GOAT if it wasn't for the GOAT, Ryan Lochte. And some people might remember that he got really close to taking out that 400 IM world record at the 2012 London Olympics. At that 2012 London Olympics in the 400 IM final, Ryan Lochte went 405.18 to get gold in the race. And he did it with a really painful looking last 20 meters and a long glide into the wall that had me thinking if Lochte had gotten like an extra hour of sleep, maybe he had an extra half scoop of pre-workout, he probably would have been in like the 404 mid-range. I don't think he would have taken out the world record. I think Lochte was capable of competing with that 403.8 world record, but I think he could have been in the 404 mid-range if it wasn't for kind of that shutdown and then glide into the wall. And then when Lochte hung up the suit and goggles, kind of maybe semi-retired, I don't know if we ever really got a full retirement from Lochte, but when he was kind of out of the picture in the 400 IM, it felt like that record was really safer than safe. Some 406s and 407s were still popping up. I think Clary was like a 407. We've got Carson Foster who's been 406. Chase Kalish has been 405. They were popping up, but that sub 410 barrier started to really feel like more of the elite barrier than it was when Lochte and Phelps were pushing that world record down towards, where it ended up at 403.8 for the time being. But the 400 IM was on the list of unbreakable world records in swimming until recently, when it took one person to take that 400 IM off that list of unbreakable world records. The women's 200 fly and the men's 800 freestyle might still be around when my time here on this planet is done and over with. The men's 200 backstroke is easily one of the most slept on world records in existence. Shout out to Aaron Pearsall and Ryosuke Irie. That was one of the funnest battles to watch in swimming, probably in the history of the sport. Those two going at it in the 200 backstroke. And Ryosuke Irie has one of the smoothest backstrokes I've ever seen in my life, and paired it up with kind of like the weirdest backstroke kick that I've ever seen in my life. Hopefully, I found a video and played it on the screen next to me. He's got kind of a weird alternating like foot tap kick. It's wild. And even though one time I tweeted that the men's 200 IM world record was a little bit soft. Yeah, no idea what was going on in my brain at the time, but that is probably one of the worst takes in the history of swimming media by yours truly. And that 200 IM world record might even be a taller task for the swimmer that some of you might know. Maybe some of you have heard the name. Léon Marchand of France, also Arizona State University, Forkham. Last year at World Championships, that's right. Last year at World Championships, we had a World Championships last year. We're having one this year, but luckily next year is an Olympic year, so there's no way that we would have a World Championships again next year. But last year, Léon Marchand had the swimming community, swimming fans all over the world on the edge of their seats as he came barreling home the last 20 meters of his 400 IM in the 400 IM final in Budapest. And we had a swimmer for the first time with their fingertips on the world record line of that Michael Phelps 403.84 400 IM world record. Even going into the last 100, Rowdy Gaines came onto the commentary and brought up the fact that we never see that world record line pop up. And if we ever do, it's really just as a reminder of how fast that world record is. It's not really like this world record might go. Keep an eye on this. He's got his fingertips on it. Léon Marchand, with 100 meters to go, didn't just have his fingertips on the world record. He was over a second under world record pace. Léon closed in 58.34, which if you did the math, Phelps closed in 56.7 in that world record swim, but Léon ended up going 404.28, just a little over 0.4 of a second off that Michael Phelps world record, and is the second fastest time in the history of that race. Behind Marchand in that same race was Carson Foster of the U.S., who probably went the most incognito 406 400 IM in history. And him, as well as Diaceto, being in the race this year means that this race is not necessarily a lock for Marchand. Based on the way that a lot of people are talking and a lot of people are treating Marchand, it seems like any race that he swims is going to be a world record and he's going to win gold and he's going to come home with 9 gold medals from the World Championships this year. And maybe he will. Maybe he'll clean house and maybe he'll prove this statement wrong, that I don't think we should be treating him as a complete lock to win every single race. I don't think it's completely unwarranted. I don't think the hype is unwarranted after what he did at NCAA's, 328 in the 400 IM. Y'all remember when that happened? Insane. But the key to Marchand breaking that 403.84 world record is not going to be just his underwaters. He'll be able to lean on his underwaters. But what it's going to be, I think, is that 100 breaststroke split in the middle of the race. After watching him go 206 in that 200 breaststroke at French Nationals, I think he could have even more in the tank. And Phelps split 110 on the 100 breaststroke split in that 400 IM. It's going to be hard to compete with that 56 coming home. Marchand has an incredible leg-driven freestyle, but if he can go 106, split a 106 on that breaststroke leg, I mean, he only has to find 0.4 of a second. I know it's asking a lot when you go 107.2 to come down even more on a 100 breaststroke split, but the guy just went 206, apparently unshaved, apparently untapered. I mean, what are we doing here? Only time will tell, but the time is running out in the lead up to the 2023 Swimming World Championships in Fukuoka, Japan. And the big question that we're all wondering, will the famous 400 IM world record from Michael Phelps go down? My answer is yes. Quick PSA before I go into the rest of this video. If you're predicting that Leon will go sub 4 minutes in the 400 IM, if you're predicting that, if you're expecting that, slow it down. If he does, it should be one of the, or crowned at least, as one of the most incredible athletic feats that we have ever seen in the history of the planet. But we should be surprised by it, and we should not expect it. If he takes out this world record by 0.01, I've said this a few times on this channel, we should be elated, we should be excited, we should be perplexed, we should be a ton of different things, a ton of different emotions, even if he goes 403.9. But go ahead and drop your predictions in the comments section. Like the video on the way down there so we can spread this video around to swimmers and non-swimmers. And remember, we're treating this event, the 2023 World Swimming Championships over here at Kyle Sockwell headquarters, as if it is the Olympics. Because I think World Championship events, World Championship meets in swimming should get the same treatment as the Olympics from fans, from people in the media, from everyone. And that also means that we're dropping a new preview video every single day at 11 a.m. Central Time leading up to the meet. If you want an event previewed, if you have an event in mind that you want me to talk about, because you guys apparently like to listen to me talk about swimming, drop that in the comments section as well. Subscribe if you want more videos like this to pop up on your home screen, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.